This session is an introduction to technology for senior people that have no or very little knowledge about modern technology. In all the time of human existence, this must be the point at which technology has had the greatest influence on the way we live. Unfortunately, for some older people, it is difficult to keep up with that technology. The aim of this session is to give you a brief overview of some of the computer technology that is currently available so that you can decide if you wish to learn more about what is going to be presented. At the end, we will show you how you can learn about some of this technology. Small little electronic devices that can fit in your pocket or purse, such as mobile phones and digital cameras, have made an enormous difference to our lives. A photo can now be taken on a digital camera or mobile phone and the image can be seen immediately. Within seconds, that image can be transferred to somebody else on the other side of the planet. The same image can be used in multitudes of ways by additional computer technology. Electronic mail, better known as email, with the appropriate devices, is used to send and receive messages to anywhere in the world at very little cost. It costs no more to send an email to the person sitting beside you as it does to a person on the other side of the world. In addition to messages, via what is called attachments, anything else that is able to be stored in a computing device can also be sent or received at those very small costs. Attachments can be photos, drawings, audio recordings, or complex designs. It can only take a few seconds to send an email to the other side of the world. Typically, it takes far less time for a computing device to send an email than it takes to compose, that is, write the email. Emails allow people to keep in touch at very little cost and share information via photos and videos very easily.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Good, thank you. I'll see you later.
Okay, bye.
Wave. Just like it costs no more to send an email to the person beside you as it does to a person on the other side of the world, it costs no more to talk in a live conversation together with the ability to see the other person, whether they be beside you or the other side of the world. This is basically known as video calls. It's basically like making a phone call. Hello,
Hello.
how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Good. See you later.
Bye.
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 It is possible, without any additional expense, to conference video call to multiple people anywhere around the world. Families in diverse locations around the world can get together via conference video calls at very little cost. Whilst within these video conference calls, it is possible to share photos, videos, or whatever else is on each person's computer screen. What makes it inexpensive is it bypasses the telephone network and uses computer networks. Because computer networks usage is charged on an amount of data that is used rather than on the time and distance, as in the case with a phone network, this makes video phone calls comparatively very inexpensive.
Play it once, Sam. For all time's sake.
I don't know what you mean, Miss Elsa.
Play it, Sam. Play as time goes by.
Oh, I can't remember it, Miss Elsa. I'm a little rusty on it.
I'll hum it for you. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da-da.
On only one part of the internet, 72 hours of video are added every minute. Often, the hardest thing to do is to decide what to watch. If you had the time, you could spend the rest of your life watching videos on a computer, most of which are completely free to watch. Other than watching videos for entertainment, you can also watch videos to learn how to do something or even to complete a university course. With the appropriate equipment, it is also possible to watch television on a computer. Watching television via a computer gives you a number of advantages, such as pausing, rewinding, and fast-forwarding live TV shows. This is viewing the Earth from out in space. It's an animation of it only. And as you can see, we're now zooming into Australia. Now zooming in closer again, and zooming into Brisbane, where I live. Coming in closer in again from Brisbane, we zoom in to see what's eventually going to be the Archerfield Airport. There you are, I can just see the Archerfield Airport now. The idea here, and also now we're seeing we're tilting. So the application we're using, which is called Google Earth, is able to see the whole of the planet and also to see it in a 3D perspective. Now that we've tilted it, we can now rotate it. Now we're going in again a little bit closer. See more detail again. Remember, we were originally looking at the whole planet. Now we're looking at some items and we're rotating again. Rotating around so you can see the whole of the area around Archerfield Airport. Now we're zooming back out again. This is the zooming is like a camera zooming in or zooming out, and we're zooming out back out of Archerfield in Brisbane, back to see the whole of Brisbane. Now you can see the Brisbane River. Now coming out again, it's an aerial view, and we can see the islands around Brisbane. Now we've stopped zooming in a minute, and we'll move around, and we're going to actually move down the east coast of Australia, slide down so we can see to the east coast of Australia until we can get to Victoria. Then we get into Victoria, we can see Port Phillip Bay. We zoom in and coming in closer again, rather than seeing the city area. This is a lot quicker than flying from Brisbane to Melbourne, isn't it? And there's Melbourne Airport. So there's a trip that normally would take 2 hours in an aeroplane. We're taking in a few minutes. You can actually see Melbourne Airport, go into more detail, tilt down again, spin around so we can see the hills around Melbourne, the Melbourne Airport, and that's the end of it. Back out to the full Earth again, and this time, rather than zooming in, I'm going to type in where we want to go to, which case is London in the UK. Finds London, and I click on it, and it automatically flies to London. Approximately flies there. Now we zoom in a little bit closer to have a closer look at London. There's the Thames River. Moving around a little bit. Now we go and we switch on a couple of things. That's streets. Actually switch on the street names. These are what's called labels, switching on streets. And also we're going to switch on 3D buildings. So that now, when we rotate or tilt the planet, that's what it's called, or tilting the camera, and move around, you'll suddenly see what appears to be some buildings appearing in a three-dimensional mode. There we are, there's some buildings. They start off just as the outline of the building, and they become clearer as it loads the data. Then we can move around a little bit more, get closer to the buildings, look straight down at the building, come round and tilt back to look at the building. And they're going panning back so we can see a lot more other buildings. Now we fly from London to Paris. We type in Paris, click OK, and the image moves over to Paris. Now we are in Paris. At that point in Paris there's a famous landmark. It's only just starting to appear. The screen will move back a bit, you see a little bit better of it now. Move closer to it. And move around. So we can see the rest of Paris from the perspective of that landmark. Now go across and grab this little man called the Peg Man from the right. As we do, various roads in Paris will turn to blue. See them turning blue now from the other side of the river back to this side of the river. Just how it's progressing. Let the little Peg Man go. We're going closer. You can actually see 3D image, and then it changes to what's called Street View. Now we have a street view. This is called Google Street View. This is a street view of Paris, looking up at the Eiffel Tower. Notice I can tilt the screen up and I can rotate around. These are taken by what's called the Google car. It takes a lot of photos, puts all the photos together, so it gives you a 360-degree perspective. You'll see the image slowly loading on the left-hand side there as I pan around. I come right round, back round to that famous Paris landmark again. And there we are. The previous images you saw were images that were taken in the past. Via what are called webcams, it is possible to see images of other parts of the world that are only a few seconds old or as they are happening. In some situations it is also possible to hear sound. The date and time at the location are often shown as well. What you're looking at now is an image of Trafalgar Square in London. You'll see from the time at the bottom of the screen that it's only updating every 5 seconds. This image is now an image of Times Square in New York. This one webcam actually has live sound as well as picture. However, because the video or the sound recorder is so far away from the camera, all you can hear is a bit of background noise. In addition to being able to watch television on a computer, it is also possible to record TV programs. With sufficient computer accessories, it is also possible to record multiple programs at the same time as well as watching an additional program. Recording with a computer can also allow the advertisements to be automatically skipped when playing back the recordings. Via an electronic program guide, it is very easy to program what is to be recorded and at what times. As TV recordings are just another form of computer information, they can be incorporated with other computer information extremely easily and used in a multitude of ways. Show speech options. Start listening. Show speech options. Open speech reference card. What can I say? Dictation. Minimize window. Open Notepad. File. Edit. Format. Cancel. This is an example of using speech recognition to write what I want to say. Full stop. New paragraph. Notice that as I speak, it works out what I want to say. Delete that. It writes what I say. Correct lights. Writes to one OK. Writes one OK. Full stop. New paragraph. Isn't it good? Question mark. Stop listening. Computers and computing devices have the ability to record both sound and moving pictures. With what is called video editing, it's possible to edit your own movies. This entire movie was produced and edited on a computer together with a mobile phone and a digital camera. Sound and video can be cut up, moved around, duplicated and put together in any order you wish, much of the same functionality that Hollywood film editors have are at your disposal with a home computer or even a mobile phone. So you can become a famous film producer. Computers and computing devices have the ability to record both sound. We have only just scratched the surface of what technology can do for you. It is impossible to list everything that technology could do for you, but here are just a few others. Research your ancestors. Write a book about your history. Research a holiday. Make reservations anywhere in the world. Keep in contact with relatives and friends. With the appropriate permissions, know exactly where anyone is and allow others to know exactly where you are. Know where exactly any of your electronic devices are. Make small, precise three-dimensional objects. Access thousands of books. Play games. Play and learn to play a musical instrument. Draw three-dimensional objects. Record an electronic diary and record what you do. Electronically record everywhere you go. Listen to radio stations anywhere in the world. Track aircraft and ships. Show you when you are travelling, find places of interest nearby. Record a simple memo. Obtain and listen to music. Get directions to any place. Have access to news and weather no matter where you are. Access maps of anywhere in the world. See driving and road conditions at any time, any place. Be reminded of wherever special events are occurring. Save money. Compare prices of commodities around the world. And importantly, learn how to use technology.